So I just got off a group call with some of my students and they were absolutely mind blown at the things that I'm about to tell you in this video. I've been doing a lot of research into these things the last few days. I've been teaching this stuff for a long time, using, psychological tactics to use the subconscious, penetrate the subconscious mind to get people and force people to click on your YouTube videos. But I've been doing a lot of research into subliminal warfare and psychological warfare. And I think there's some obvious tactics that you can take from what the US government is using on its citizens and also citizens of foreign countries that have literally been able to use these same tactics to get people to straight up surrender and just hand over their country to the United States in the past, in Operation Desert Storm and things like that. This isn't a conspiracy theory video. This is just using things that the US government has obviously used and using it to your advantage on YouTube. And this is just absolutely mind-blowing stuff. And what I've been doing research on recently is using subliminal warfare to our advantage. And I know this might sound dark. We're not getting people to rob banks or commit crimes. We're getting people to watch YouTube videos, okay? It's not that serious. And if you want to get a major competitive advantage, this is how you do it. This is a huge way in doing that. So what do I mean by subliminal warfare? A great example is probably the best example, and it's crazy stuff when you really think about it. The reason why subliminal messaging is quote unquote illegal in advertising today, even though they 100% use subliminal warfare in advertising today, but the most blatant form of it is illegal, is they tried it in movie theaters and they showed it to, I think, it's either 35,000 people or 350,000 people. And the results were crazy. They were absolutely astonishing. So what they did was every 30,000th of a second, they would flash on the screen images saying, eat more popcorn, you are hungry, you want popcorn, you're thirsty, things like this. It was mostly focused on popcorn, not the thirsty one. And every 30,000th of a second, these images would flash on the screen. That's too fast for the human eye and the conscious mind to pick up on. But it's not too fast for the subconscious mind to pick up on. And if you watch my past YouTube videos, I always say, we are focused on the subconscious. The conscious mind of today's humans are rotten. They're brain rotted. They're so inundated with TikTok, fast scrolling, YouTube shorts, cheap dopamine, cheap dopamine, cheap dopamine. If you try to attract the conscious mind, you're going to lose. The conscious mind is never going to be able to focus on one thing, but the subconscious is still intact. If you try to penetrate the subconscious with your thumbnails and your titles and your packaging, it will work if you do it the right way. And I'm about to tell you how to do that right now. So, and then all these examples are leading towards getting information on the actual thumbnail. Okay. What happened with every 30,000th of a second, they would show the images. That's too fast for the conscious mind to see, not too fast for the subconscious. What were the results of this? 58% increase in popcorn sales. They were basically mind controlling people with these subliminal messages into buying popcorn. And if you think that they're not using this to this day in messaging and in all kind of advertising, you're insane. If you think that the US government isn't using that on its own citizens to sway their opinions and sway their actions, and also using it on foreign entities, foreign adversaries, foreign militaries, probably even on their own military to make them want to go fight in these wars even more, you're crazy. They're 100% using these things. And if you're not using it, you're going to fall behind, because nobody talks about this right now. I've never seen anyone go in this much detail before. But we can use all these things to our advantage. And eventually this is going to be common knowledge. Good thing we're ahead right now, and I'm going to continue to do research into these types of things. And we're going to continue to stay ahead. Everybody within my program, we're going to continue to stay way ahead of everyone else and absolutely continue to crush it. In this video, I want to tell you some ways that you can use this subliminal warfare to your advantage. And obviously we can't flash images on a screen in a thumbnail because it's a static image. We have to make a static thumbnail to put on YouTube. So we can't use that in particular. But there are so many little things inside of a thumbnail that people think are irrelevant. They're overlooked and people don't use them enough. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those things are. The number one thing that you can use subliminally to get people to want to click on your videos is color schemes. And I don't mean the most aesthetically appealing color schemes like the best graphic design colorways and things like that. I mean color schemes that actually get people to want to click. And what are those? So for a long time, people have used green and red thumbnails. There's a reason why they do that. It's because we are programmed from a very young age to know not even just with stoplights, but everything. Green means go, red means stop. Now, I have found, and the meta on YouTube right now is red text works really, really well. And red arrows, red circles, things like this work really, really well. Why? It's not because the conscious mind is seeing the red text on a thumbnail and thinking, oh, look, red text, I must stop and click this video because I've been trained my whole life to see red and to stop when I see red. No, that's not what's happening. This red is instantaneously, like those images that were played every 30,000th of a second, instantaneously registering to the subconscious mind and saying, stop, telling the conscious mind, stop, as soon as we see it. And if you can get someone to stop like that, you have done more than 99.99999% of content out there could do. Like I said earlier, the conscious mind is so rotten today, where it's instantaneous dopamine hits all over the place. TikTok, just scroll. It's so hard to get someone to stop and actually look and pay attention to who you are. That's why we chase the subconscious. If the subconscious sees red, it is trained from birth to stop. And that's why it's not just, oh, look, other people are using red text and red arrows and red circles, so I must use red because that's just what's trendy right now. No, dude, we are trying to penetrate the subconscious with subliminal warfare. And once you understand that, it's so much easier to do everything else right as well, correctly as well. It's not just like, oh, we're just copying off what everybody else is doing. No, dude, we're using subliminal warfare. There's so many ways. I went on in a 2-hour group call just now, and I just broke down everything that you could do. I'm gonna try my best to keep it short and sweet, but there's just no way I could give you all the information in this one video. There's just no way. I'm literally updating a lot of sections of my course right now because this is mind-blowing stuff. This subliminal warfare stuff is real. Dude, it's real. If the US government is putting this much resources into it, it's 100% real. They literally got, I think it was Iraq. It was the Operation Desert Storm. That's what it was. They got them by using radio frequencies and using a radio station. They literally got them to surrender. And that's like technically not confirmed. Obviously, they would never confirm that. But I mean, why else would they surrender? You know, it was going on at the same time that all these things are being discovered. Now there's patents nowadays for companies that do this. Like, this is what they do. They use microwaves, like the microwave that you probably have in your kitchen. They use microwaves. And this is 100% confirmed. You can go look this up. This has been scientifically studied over and over and scrutinized. It's real. They use microwaves to make people feel different emotions. And they say they only use it for positive emotions, but we all know that they also use it for negative emotions. And I've said this since the beginning of this YouTube channel right here. Every single one of my thumbnails that I create, the number one goal is to make people feel something. Whether that's happy, sad, anger, nostalgia, I'm making them feel something. That's the goal. If you can make people feel something, you can make them do whatever the hell you want. And once again, we're not making them rob banks or commit crimes. We're making them watch YouTube videos. If you think the US government is not using microwaves to influence your emotions to make you do whatever the hell they want, you are wrong. They are doing this. Now, do we get angry and stop playing the game because we're being manipulated by the government? No. We continue playing the game. We understand the rules and we use them to our advantage. We need to start using subliminal warfare, using these emotions, manipulate people's emotions to our advantage. That's what we have to start doing. One way you can do that is with colorways and color schemes, like I just described. Another way you can do this is all the different little things that you can do throughout your thumbnails. Make people invoke emotions in people. So there's a ton of different ways you can do this. A lot of people weaponize nostalgia. That's a huge one. Nostalgia, if you can do that consistently, nostalgia is probably the most powerful one. Maybe anger would rival it, but nostalgia is an extremely powerful emotion. Extremely. Look at all of the movies nowadays. All of the movies nowadays are just remakes of old movies and they suck. And guess what? They still make money. They still make money because of nostalgia. Like Star Wars, it's awful. Like I 100% agree with you. I think everybody out there thinks the new Star Wars stuff is awful. Guess what? It's still turning profit. It's still making money. The new Lord of the Rings show was awful. It probably still made money. I don't know the exact numbers on it, but the new Marvel stuff, it sucks. But guess what? They're not living off the last 5 years. They're living off the previous 15. That's how powerful nostalgia is. There's whole YouTube channels built around still making documentary videos about stuff that happened in RuneScape 20 years ago. And they get millions of views because of nostalgia. And that's just one emotion. Think about all the people, I just mentioned Star Wars. Think about all the people who are making YouTube videos about the horrible Star Wars that's coming out recently. And they're printing money because every single title and thumbnail they create is bringing up these negative, these angry, these sad emotions that people get whenever they think of current day Star Wars because of how much they loved it in the past and how horrible it's become. You make people feel these emotions, they are clicking on your videos and they are making you a ton of money. If you use this subliminal warfare to your advantage, you're going to get rich. Like there's just no doubt about it. This isn't just a YouTube thing either. This is just all marketing. You use these emotions, you use these subliminal messages to your advantage. Other things you can do is just all the little things that I talk about on YouTube all the time. Making sure that the subjects of your thumbnail are very, very clear, recognizable faces. You want to have clear heroes of your thumbnail, not this cluttered mess, not paragraph after paragraph on your thumbnails. Very clear messaging. So you want like clear subjects. For example, I made an example thumbnail on our group call just now. We did top 10 baseball players. And what I did was I just had like Aaron Judge on one side and I had another player. He's not necessarily top 10, but he had a good reaction face for what I was going for in the thumbnail. So we had Brandon Marsh on the other side. And I wanted to make those two faces extremely clear and also show the logos of their teams extremely clearly on those thumbnails as well, because those are very recognizable faces, especially when you pair them with the teams that they play for. So now we have the extremely recognizable faces. Now we're going to go in, we're going to adjust the brightness and contrast, make sure that they are abundantly clear, not to the conscious mind, to the subconscious mind, because that's what we need to penetrate. It's impossible to penetrate a conscious mind nowadays. It's impossible. You go after the conscious mind, you make people sit there and read paragraphs on your thumbnail, you lose. You lose. You make people sit there and consciously try to figure out the story you're trying to tell in your thumbnail, you lose. But if you tell the story to the subconscious mind to where they can instantaneously tell what your video is about and if it's for them or not, which, spoiler alert, it should always feel like it's for them, they're clicking, you win. You penetrate the subconscious, you win. You penetrate the conscious, you lose. 100% of the time, okay? So we have Aaron Judge on one side, Brandon Marsh on the other side. We have the recognizable faces, our heroes, our subjects, whatever you want to call them, very, very blatantly obvious to the subconscious mind. Now, what are we missing? We're missing emotion. Yes, people are going to see Aaron Judge. They might hate Aaron Judge if they're a Red Sox fan or something. They hate the Yankees. That's just a small subset of the population. They might love Aaron Judge if they're a Yankees fan, another small subset of the population. We want to make this to all audiences, attractive to all audiences. How can we do this? Well, the video is titled Top 10 Baseball Players of the 2020s or whatever. What I did, instead of just doing what everyone else would do and say, and the text saying top 10 or best baseball players of 2020s, I put cheater because that invokes a ton of emotion. And if I was even thinking more in the time, I would probably put someone like Jose Altuve because he's been involved in a lot of cheating controversies, but it might work even better because Aaron Judge hasn't necessarily been involved in these controversies. So if you put cheater, and then I put an arrow pointing to Aaron Judge, and on the other side, it was Brandon Marsh with a shocked face, like, oh my God, Aaron Judge is cheating. Okay. What does this do? It not only makes people, it heightens the emotions of the Yankees fan that will see the Aaron Judge fans, because they're already bought in because they see Aaron Judge, but it heightens that and makes them even more bought in. It also heightens the Red Sox fans because not only do they see Aaron Judge and they feel anger, but they see cheater pointing towards Aaron Judge, and it heightens those emotions and makes them even more angry. Like, I can't believe this guy cheated. But then all the general baseball fans out there, they see cheater pointing at Aaron Judge, and they're all feeling curiosity, another emotion, extreme curiosity, because Aaron Judge hasn't necessarily been involved in a cheating scandal. So now we have all of these things working together, and we also have Brandon Marsh there, who's also shocked, and they can't believe. They're acting as if they are the audience member, saying, what? Aaron Judge cheated? I can't believe this. And then they click on the video, and it's a top 10 list, and the title says that as well, so it ties the story together, so they're sticking around to see, like, you know, what's happening here, what are we talking about, cheater, and throughout the video somewhere we'll explain some cheating scandal to make sure that they get delivered what it is that they clicked for. You see what I'm talking about with all these subliminal things that you use. And by the way, the text on the screen that said cheater was red. The arrow pointing at Aaron Judge was red. What does that tell the subconscious mind? It it's because they don't have to read a paragraph. As soon as the subconscious sees this, because it can process so fast, that it tells you the story when you're sitting in a movie theater, when it's shown to you for a 1/30,000th of a second. It's so hard to say that. 1/30,000th of a second, it can tell you the whole story that you are hungry and you need to go buy popcorn. So when they see your thumbnail, even if they're scrolling past it really fast, like they're on TikTok and they're just looking for something to catch their eye, if you have red text, red arrow, it immediately catches the eye of the subconscious. And then it also tells the story of Aaron Judge is a cheater, because they don't have to sit there and read through paragraph after paragraph. They don't have to sit there and decipher what is the story of this thumbnail. It's very simple. Aaron Judge is the cheater. Brandon Marsh is shocked about it. How do you feel about it is up to your conscious mind and your interpretation. But we've already penetrated the subconscious because of how simple and how optimized it is for the subliminal warfare side of things. If you're not using subliminal warfare to get ahead of everybody else on YouTube, you're going to lose. And I don't see anybody else talking about this, but it's dude, this is the secret. Right now, this is your competitive advantage. And everybody who's inside of my program, they're absolutely crushing using these tactics right here. Like, there's just so many things that I could go over right now. It's a little bit overwhelming because I just kind of came to this like eureka moment of all of these governments, all of these people, all these patents are out for these exact tactics. Why don't we use them for YouTube? So now I'm coming up with all these ideas on how we can use these for YouTube. And it's just, there's so much to discuss. There's no way I could fit it into this one video. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully I got my thoughts in order enough to be able to actually explain to you what I'm talking about here. If you could walk away with anything from this video, have it be that everything that you do in your thumbnail matters. Everything needs to be intentional. From the from the text color, from how bright and contrasty every single face is, from the drop shadow and how dark or light it is, from everything. Every single thing matters. Everything. Be intentional about every single part of your thumbnail. And if you actually know what you need to be intentional about and how you should carry out that intentionality, which if you're inside of my program, you 100% know, then you're going to win. 100% you're going to win. If you want to know more about this, go ahead and book a call with the link in the description, or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram and see about getting on a call with me and see if you'd be a good fit for the coaching program. Hopefully this helped you out. If it did, make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys over on the next video.